Alright guys, Darren from FBA Elite and welcome back to another video. So in this week's video, I want to talk about 3 recent Amazon policy changes that are either happened recently or are coming very soon that have got a number of sellers scared or confused or considering quitting Amazon. And I think a lot of it is just purely confusion. So in this video, I'm going to do my best to clear up all 3 policy changes, as I know the majority of people watching this content, my videos, are new sellers. And if you go to the Amazon forums at the moment, the official Amazon seller forums, they are a mess. And you'll probably leave there very, very confused and very, very fearful about starting an Amazon FBA business. So the 3 things we're going to be taking a look at in this video. We've got DD+7. What does that mean? You're going to find out shortly. We've got the GPRS regulation changes. And we've also got some VAT exemption changes, which we've covered in recent videos, but I'm going to recap as there will be new sellers watching this particular video about all of these issues together. So DD7, as you can see, I've just popped it into the search bar on the Amazon forums, and we've got 260 results with headlines such as DD+7 is a disaster and is destroying many small businesses. Here is what you can do. Or DD+7 delivery date is unfair. So what is happening? Why are we seeing this reaction? And should you be concerned as a new seller? So DD+7 is a new policy change that Amazon, if I say it's a new policy change, it's not a new policy change. This policy has been in place for new sellers since 2016. But what Amazon are doing are bringing all sellers onto a level playing field. So this only impacts approximately 15% of sellers, anyone from before 2016. If you have a new Amazon account since 2016, so I've been selling since 2018, so this doesn't apply to me, or if you're opening an account soon, you haven't got to worry about it either, as you're going to have been on the new terms regardless. And what they are changing is how long it takes for you to get the money from Amazon once you've made a sale. So I believe that in the past, before 2016, and anyone with older legacy Amazon accounts, once they'd made a sale, they could pretty much disperse the next day. But since 2016, we've been on DD+7, which means you can disperse that money 7 days after confirmed delivery. And if anyone's doubting that this isn't an existing policy, I made a video about this 4 years ago, when will I get my money? And I spoke about then that Amazon takes 7 days after delivery until the money becomes available for disbursement. So if you make a sale today, it's basically 8 days, because the morning after 7 days, you can then see that balance in your account, and you can either wait for Amazon to automatically disperse that every 2 weeks, or like I do, I disperse on a Sunday evening or during the week if my balance gets above a certain amount that I like to disperse at. You don't have to wait for 2 weeks, and some people disperse every day. The only difference is you've got that delay 7 days after the delivery date of the product, just in case there's any issues with that order and a customer wants a refund or something like that. So for me, I'm not really seeing why there's been such a big reaction in the Amazon forums. I think there are, of course, going to be some older sellers on there, and this will be a challenging change for them. But for the majority of people on the Amazon forums, they are reasonably new sellers in the past 9 years. So I think this is just poor communication from Amazon, that this only applies to people with old accounts. So if you're a new seller, it's not something you need to really worry about, because you would have been on these terms anyway. And with Amazon FBA, you've got money tied up for 3 to 4 months anyway. You pay it to the factory, they make the goods, you've got a 3-4 week lead time there, then it spends 6 weeks on a boat at the moment, then a week or 2 getting checked into Amazon, and you've got to sell the product. So having 7 days on top of that isn't really a big problem. And I know this is going to sound dismissive to some of the older seller accounts, but if you've been selling on Amazon since before 2016, and 9 years later, having a 7-day delay on your cash flow is going to destroy your business, then I would be questioning how your business is set up. So I'm not trying to defend Amazon. Their policy is shocking, but a lot of the reaction you're seeing on the forums at the moment, I feel, is over the top and is confusing for new sellers. The next thing that I want to touch on, and this is GPRS. So you can see over 200 results for people confused about GPRS. And again, I blame Amazon for this. They announced this at the start of the year. And there's even been posts about both of these topics on the FBA Elite forums. So if you want to get my advice on these topics, go to the FBA Elite forums, and I try to respond to anyone that posts these types of questions. So at the start of the year, they announced that we had to prepare for the new general product safety regulations. Now, to paraphrase this news release, it's a load of new requirements for sellers that sell in Europe. And it does not apply to UK sellers just selling in the UK. So again, 99% of people watching this video that are just UK sellers selling in the UK, this policy does not apply to. If you do sell in the EU, then of course you need to go and do your own research on this and figure out what you need to do. But Amazon have confirmed they've actually cancelled the event they've got here for UK sellers. They actually had a GPRS webinar coming up to inform everyone or to answer all of the unanswered questions about this. And they just said, update, event cancelled on the UK seller forums as no action is required in Seller Central in the UK. And even on their long page of information about this, they've got at the bottom here, requirements to sell on Amazon for listings on a UK-based store. You don't need to submit any information to Amazon. You must, however, submit the required information for listings on EU-based stores. So these two big issues here that are creating lots of confusion and fear on the Amazon forums about DD+7 and about GPSR. If you are a new seller and you're only in the UK, selling in the UK, there's not really any changes and not really anything for you to worry about. Now, this third change is something I have covered in previous videos, and this does apply to all new sellers, and this is the changes to the VAT exemption, which I've said before is just a terminology thing because technically you weren't VAT exempt in the first place. But we had a period between Brexit taking place and August 2024 where new sellers could tell Amazon that they were VAT exempt even though they weren't, and then Amazon wouldn't charge VAT on the fees that Amazon charge. Now, when I started selling in 2018, this wasn't an option as we were still part of the EU. So when I was a new seller, before I became VAT registered, I had to pay VAT on my Amazon seller fees. And that was just the way it was. And that's just the way we accepted things. But because of that little quirk of Brexit, for a period, we did have a few years where new sellers could avoid paying VAT on Amazon fees. And that did give them, to be fair, an unfair advantage over existing sellers that were VAT registered. So if anything, this does level the playing field. And this is actually a painful change for me because I've spoken about a new business we're launching for my wife at the moment. And when we placed our bulk order for her first product, these changes had not been announced. And then they announced these changes and our products are now selling on Amazon. And we're losing about £1.50 of profit per unit because we have to pay VAT on those Amazon fees. So although this is an unfortunate change, it just shows how important it is to choose the right product. You need to have at least kind of a £6 to £7 profit margin on your product to offset this VAT change, also cover your PPC costs and stuff like that. So there's actually some money left for you once you've gone through all of the fees that Amazon charges. So I just wanted to make this video to clear up those three different things. DD+7 doesn't make really any changes to new sellers. You've got GPSR doesn't apply if you only sell in the UK and you're based in the UK. And the VAT exemption does apply. And unfortunately, you will have to pay VAT on the Amazon fees. Just make sure you calculate that when you're doing your profit calculations. So hopefully that has appeased some of the concerns you may have about starting Amazon at the end of 2024 as we move into 2025. In the pinned top comment, there is a link to the FBA Elite course and the latest Helium 10 discount code. And what I'm going to do now is pop up a video showing you how to start your own Amazon FBA business step by step and make your first £1,000. And I'll see you guys over there.